I wonder if you have ever really, really, really wanted to do something like, be in a play or write a story or, I don't know, just something that you think, I'd love to do that. But there's that little voice inside your head that just tells you you'll be rubbish. Do not do it. And you doubt yourself and then you don't do it and then you have regrets. Well, what if you could silence that voice inside your head? Joelle Compton is a life coach, counsellor and facilitator at Transformational Coaching and Counselling. G'day, Joelle.
Hi, how are you?
I am good, and I would love to hear from you about doubt. What can we do to overcome our crippling self-doubt?
It's a really good question, and I guess first you really need to look at what confidence is in order to understand the doubt that you may have.
Interesting.
And I think that how confidence is generally grown in a person, so getting some understanding around that. And it's my belief that confidence depends on the background, your background you may have grown up in, the experiences you've had in life, the resilience you've been taught, the supports around you and the supports you've had around you in your life, or lack thereof, different influences, messages you've received externally.
So can you learn how to be confident, or is it something you either are confident or you are not?
I think that confidence is more of a learned skill.
Right.
I mean, some people might naturally be born with more resilience than others, and so therefore blows they may have to their self-esteem or self-worth along the way, they can pick themselves up and dust themselves off a little better. It's that nature-nurture question, so we may have some internal things there going on, but we're also externally the environment we're growing up in can also affect our confidence in that way.
So what would be, I guess, your top 3 tips, Joelle, for helping to improve self-confidence, to address some of that doubt that can stop us from achieving our dreams? What would be your top tips?
Well, self-doubt often comes from the external messages we receive, and we can internalise those messages. So one of the tips with that would be really knowing yourself and knowing what those messages are that you're running. When you start to know that, you give yourself opportunities to then reframe those messages into more positive or self-supporting statements.
Okay.
And even sort of see what those messages are about and maybe look deeper into where they even came from in the first place. So it gives you that opportunity to understand where they come from.
Okay, so positive self-talk, good.
Positive self-talk.
What else
absolutely.
could we do? Yeah.
So that's one aspect. The other thing too is sometimes we may have a goal and all we think about is that end result of that goal. And we forget about the process in between. So we have all these, values around the end result and what that's going to look like, and it should be like this, or it should look like that. If we don't achieve it, or we don't get close to it, then we can grow more self-doubt about ourselves. Oh, I didn't get there, I'm hopeless. And so that self-talk comes in again. So maybe looking at what the actual goal is, but putting more emphasis also on the process of it. So a lot of successful people are successful not just because they've said, yeah, that's what I want to achieve, but because they've actually put a lot of time into the process and they've planned and they've predominantly enjoyed the process.
Okay, and you can find the self-satisfaction in those steps along the way, along the journey to wherever you're hoping to get to.
That's right,
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
And just quickly, we're almost out of time. One final pearl of wisdom, Joelle.
Sure. Well, I might bring 2 in together. One would be supporting that self-talk with some self-compassion. So if you do have a crack at something and you don't get quite the result I'd hope for, that you can have some self-compassion around that and keep trying. And the final thing would be don't always seek the external validation, but grow your own internal validation.
Joelle Compton, thank you so much for giving us a bit of positivity at the end of the program today. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome, and have a lovely afternoon.